Hey guys, thanks for clicking on this video. This is actually a call that we do every Monday. We call it the WingMan Weekly. We do this at 6 p.m. If you'd like to join us, the link is in the description.
Hello, everybody. We are live. Me and Steven are in the same place, which means same amount of problems, but two brains to work on, I guess. Hi, my name is Nate Hibbert. This is my brother, Steven Hibbert. This is our after Thanksgiving call, so we're both a little...
Full.
Yeah, full. I don't know. I feel extra excited today, a little hyper even, just because we've been hanging out, having fun. It's been a while since me and Steven have been just in the same room, in the same office, brainstorming and working on our business and stuff. It's been at least 8 months since we've been in this room together. So I don't know, I'm happy. Happy you guys are here to join us tonight. We are going to start our weekly call right now, I guess. This is our WingMan weekly call. These happen every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it is us talking and hanging out. I'm sorry.
This excitement has gone all the way to absolutely nothing. I thought you were amping me up for something. Tonight we're going to be talking about 2020. I think Nathaniel being here has just reignited what I think next year can be and getting me excited about all the partnerships we have currently, all the partnerships that we are working on, the deals that we are structuring, how we can move forward, how we can help more people. We've talked about partnerships a little bit in here. We want to do that a lot more moving to next year. We are still going to be heavily focused on POD. What I'd like these calls to be is a little bit more of an open conversation with the community about our business, what we have going on, and then how can we help other people, like the WingMan monogram, I guess, is how can we come alongside you and help you out in your business to find more success. We really enjoy POD. It might not be a perfect fit for everybody, but I do think relationships should be the core piece of any business. So all that to say, Q4 is here. It is rapidly ending, and setting yourself up for 2020 is kind of what we want to talk about tonight. Let's go back a little bit, I guess, before we go too deep. Thanksgiving.
Our weekend, or our week, really.
Yeah. I had a blast for Thanksgiving. We throw down every year with the cooking. We had massive amounts of food. We had leftovers that me and Nathaniel are polishing up
For the last 4 days.
I don't think there's much left now, though. I think there's like one piece of turkey.
Yeah, there's still some left.
But I am thankful for my family, that we can all come together. I love when people come and visit. It's just a time to relax, decompress, enjoy our time together. And I also get to tap people to like small projects that I've been working on for all year that I just a bit lazy and been putting off till people come. We put up a gazebo in the back. We refreshed the Wi-Fi network. Nathaniel brought, I don't know if you mentioned it on the actual call or not, a monitor. So it's a lot of small things that I enjoy. When other people come, it's just like, oh, let's check all these boxes along with just relaxing, enjoying ourselves. We went shuffleboarding like old people. We went to the baseball stadium, maze, lights, extravaganza. Yeah. So we had fun, but along with getting things done, that's what I really like. I don't want to take too much shine from you and your Thanksgiving.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think you pretty much said it all, but I always appreciate good food coming down here to Florida. I do live on my own, so I'm cooking, and it's all great and dandy, but it's not to the level of Steven's wife's cooking, who does most of the cooking. Steven helps, I think, a little bit.
I go in the kitchen. I'm more of an annoyance than a help.
I want to completely disregard your help, but pretty sure Desi did most of it. So yeah, we just had a good time. It's, like I said, been a while since me and Steven just got to kind of hang out. We talk basically every day, but it's always like very business focused, and we try to check up on each other like every once in a while, but this time it was just fun. Watched a ton of The Office, just kind of had it always in the background as we were doing stuff and just quote lines from that. And I don't know, yeah, this was a really fun week to be in Florida, so it was a good time to refresh, but also keeping this thought of, let's prepare for 2020. This was, we talked about this a little bit in the pre-show. I don't know if you guys got to catch that. We talked about the book, Full Engagement, and the ability to get things done if you put a time and a place that you're going to get those things done or try to do them. And so for the last 2 months, me and Steven were like, let's talk about 2020. But it didn't really happen until we were like, okay, when I'm down there for Thanksgiving, like then we'll sit down and really talk about what next year looks like for our business.
Yeah, we put it on the calendar and it was like almost a standing meeting for Thursday. And then we just kept on pushing it back, pushing it back, pushing it back.
Just so happened this Thursday, it was Thanksgiving. No, it was probably, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago that we were just like, all right, let's just wait until we're next to each other in the same office and can talk about this stuff.
I think it was a combination of you reading the book and saying, hey, things seem to happen and you can really like focus your energy on them instead of like putting them on a calendar and then stressing about it. Like if you put a time and a place to it. And that really resonated with me. And I was like, all right, let's try that. When you come down, let's, as you're here, before you leave, let's schedule out some additional time. Because I don't know if your original plan was just to come and leave, but staying, I think, worked out better for both of us. It was like, okay, we can enjoy Thanksgiving. We can enjoy after just being full and wanting to fully relax. Saturday, talk some business, get some things done. Sunday, completely rest, go to church. And then Monday, let's hit the business hard.
Second Black Friday last 17 years that we haven't had to just go and shop. And I don't want to speak too badly of it because I know there's a lot of people still
reach out to us like, can you help us for Black Friday? It's like, what do you need? I'm not going to go shopping, but I can at least do some computer work for you. So we help some people.
Do some research. But yeah, this is the second Black Friday in a very long time that we haven't just been in the masses and the crowds, clearing shelves, doing all that stuff.
Elbow in.
Yeah. I still don't miss it. It hasn't been long enough for me to like look back at those times fondly yet. So I'm enjoying this no inventory.
They haven't turned into the good old days yet.
Not yet.
Another reason why I am so excited about 2020 is that we get to continue to do what we enjoy and do it more. And I think with a little bit more of a laser focus. We have looked back and reflected a little bit on our business. We will do that more as the weeks come, but just going, what is it that we really want to focus on next year? How do we set ourselves up from now to be able to do that? Partnerships, relationships, things that we feel have done a huge benefit for our business is something that we are focusing in on more. We've reached out to people, gotten a lot of good feedback. We were actually on a call today with Ryan. He interviewed us for his radio show. That was exciting. Just realizing that we're in a very good position and we enjoy the journey. I think before, for me at least, it was always the destination. Black Friday was never like an enjoyment, but getting the products, getting them in boxes and then getting them out, like that process of doing that. And then the end result is what I was truly after. I think now, after teaching and going and presenting and doing all those things, I'm enjoying the journey a lot more. And I want to carry that 2020. So just, again, having Nathaniel here, kind of hitting the checklist of like, what are the things that we have to do to keep the business moving? And then how do we build in additional time to enjoy ourselves? Because there's been a lot of times we went and presented and it was just like, okay, we got to get there Thursday, we got to present Friday, we got to get home Saturday because we have no time to do anything but just to knock this out. But I think with you being here, especially, like shuffleboarding is not like a big to do. I don't think it's any of our like personal, like, yeah, I love shuffleboarding, but it's enjoyable to go and do as a family event and then just like chill out and relax and do something that we both enjoy, but it's not like a passion of ours. Just like going to hit the maze. It wasn't like me and Nathaniel were like, the maze, I love the maze. But my wife loves Christmas lights. It was nice to be her, just seeing her so giddy and then running around in that atmosphere. So it's doing things that other people enjoy, and me being like, 20 minutes to hit these lights. We got to get in this out this maze because we got more shopping to do, or we got this work to do, and just being able to slow things down. For me, as a workaholic.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Different, I guess, for you.
Well, I think that was the difference between even this year and last year. Last year, we didn't do anything for Black Friday, but it was still like it was too close. Like had
that shell shock and like,
we like just didn't say anything. We did like no business on Thanksgiving or Black Friday or even that weekend. Like after, we were just like, no one say anything. This year we could still talk about business and like enjoy what we were doing. I think it's been long enough for us to at least enjoy the full Cyber Monday that used to be just crazy times. As we're seeing some people in chat say, like somebody who works in retail had to work for 24 hours, like that.
Don't miss that.
Sucks.
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel sorry for that person, but I'm glad that we just got to relax, even going to the beach on Thanksgiving and just completely just, being at peace. I know, it was nice. So yeah, thank you guys for joining us. I'm seeing someone saying it's cold in Atlanta, the high of 41 today. I'm going back tomorrow. I'm actually bringing my mom, so don't say that too loud because she might hear. Hey guys, just gonna stop the video real quick and ask if you could do something to help us out, and that's leave a like, leave a comment, or subscribe to the channel so we can keep growing the Wingman University. All right, I'll let you get back to the video now. Yeah, we're excited thinking about 2020 and just the possibilities, even making like a 6-month plan. We know things change a lot around here, but at least having that groundwork out there of like, this is what we want to do. Even breaking down our business slightly differently and just seeing it as like 3 different branches now that we kind of have, where we're working with clients, where we're doing content and producing, information that's going to help people, and then also doing some consulting and defining what each of those things look like. We're still working on all of that, but just seeing our business as an overall and getting Steven's viewpoint and my viewpoint and then coming together in agreement. So
that's what I was going to say. I don't know if our business has changed, just the way that we think of it and look at it, and then how we're now
having priorities. That's a very big thing that we're learning to do a little bit better.
And putting like you in charge of certain sections and then me in charge of certain sections, instead of like both of us trying to wear the hats and switch them, like, okay, I'm gonna do this piece, you do this piece. It's like, you're in charge, you lead the way in this, and then I'll lead the way in this, and then whenever we need help, we can help each other. But it doesn't have to be like I feel like I'm tripping over waiting on you and you feel like you're tripping over waiting on me.
I feel like earlier you had some good points about like, I know we just talked a bunch about like our business and what we have personally going on, but for value of people watching this, are there some things that you think that people could do to prepare for 2020 as we start to like think about it, or maybe they have already been planning about it? I know we personally said the thing of like, setting an actual time and a place.
Yeah, I was going to bring back up that book. Yeah, I think that is probably the biggest like aha, or the thing that I've taken away this week, is putting a time and a place. I don't consider myself a procrastinator, but there are like the priorities, like you were joking, is something that I'm constantly like juggling around. Business, I normally push to the forefront, even though that's not always the best thing to do. And it is like sometimes a hurt with the relationship that we have. And I think for me, just like resetting the priorities for this community, I would suggest that like now that the end of the year is coming, slow down, think back to this year. What did you do? What did you enjoy? How do you want to move forward with next year? And at least set some time aside to realistically sit down and write things down. That's another thing that I think me and Nathaniel have really started doing this year, is writing things down and relating them back to each other. Like, this is how, like you said, the viewpoints. This is how I see the business. This is how you see the business. How do we come together and find common ground to move forward in this? So like that book is saying, put a time and a place, because that seems to really make it happen as far as like the setting the priority and following through. And I think another thing is, as you look back and try to plan, make the plan and then try to work backwards from it. Something that me and Nathaniel also sometimes struggle with is, how do we view the next 6 months? How do we game plan out that far when we do have a lot of things that change and opportunities that come up? But at least setting the goal that we want to reach, and then go, okay, this is where we want to be in 6 months. Where does it need to be in 5 months? Where do we need to be in 4 months, 3 months, 2 months? That is an exercise that I think we are getting much better at. And I think it's really helped us the last year of being able to go, here's a goal. This is where we want to be by end of year. Let's work backwards. And now we have reached it. And now we can just continue to scale and grow our business.
Yeah, but we don't want you guys to feel alone in that either. We're not just trying to give you that advice. Be like, all right, you're off on your own now. So we have been talking about bringing back the 20-minute calls. We've had some people messaging us and asking if they can still take part of that, since that was something we kind of put out there in the YouTube land. So some announcements may be coming about us bringing that back, or what that might look like. But we want you guys to reach out to us. Commenting on these videos lets us know what you guys are focused on and what you're working on, and that's going to be a big thing for us next year. We kind of did it in the last 3 months, where we were like very focused in on, okay, no longer are we going to make content that would be helpful for when we, like me and Steven, first started out, but really listening to our audience, seeing where you guys are at. That's where this idea of the 1% better and making the 100 listings, like we think those are kind of true to our name of like WingMan. Like, those are things for people who are actually in our community, and the things that we would do or suggest to help you guys out for where we're hearing you guys are getting stuck, or the bottlenecks or the walls that you're hitting.
Yeah, we love helping people. The 20-minute calls was very enjoyable to us, but it is time consuming. Like, we have to edge time out of our business to be able to like chunk aside time to help people. So we have game planned a few different things. I want to start a mastermind, especially since we're moving a little bit in a new direction. This probably won't happen until like January, February-ish. But I really like that smaller group working together and going, okay, this is the plan. How can we collectively work together and help each other out? That was more my idea. I know you like the consulting or I should say. I love the consulting side of it, but you like the actual client work of it, where it's like, okay, here's the game plan, and then Nathaniel likes helping the person with that vision in your head and make it a reality. I think that's why you like being a designer, because you could have the idea, someone relay the idea to you, and then you could make it appear
real. Yeah. Which I do very much like. I know we're going to talk about this a little bit later, but I think it kind of goes along with that idea of connecting with you guys more. And me and Stephen both have realized that there's people in our immediate area that we could also be meeting up with. So even people on this call who live in Atlanta and can tell me what the weather's like there. So I think that's a pretty clear indication that we should be doing some local meetups as well. I think Stephen's been doing one, not
officially, not officially, but
like some people in this area
locally
he's met
meeting
with.
up.
And so, yeah, I would like to do that in Atlanta as well. I think that's an awesome place. I already know some coffee shops that would be willing to let us host an event there and get some people to come together, and no real agenda. I don't know, you might feel differently. At least my meetings would be no real agenda, just kind of coming and talking and seeing how we can help each other. Maybe opening the laptop if it's a small enough group, but just getting to talk to each other. And I don't know, this last week it's been like so crazy how much more me and Stephen have been able to get done because we're 5 feet away from each other for the last 24 hours or however long we've been together. So I think there's just a power of being there in person and not having the webcam to talk through. There's just business gets done that way. So
it's like the ideas can flow freer. Normally when we're on the webcam, it's like we have an agenda.
Very time constrained. Yeah. So that's something that we're going to talk more about as the weeks go on, but we're just putting that out there because I kind of feel like it goes along with our 20-minute calls and doing consulting. And we just want to work with you guys more. I think that's the most enjoyable part of this business for both me and Stephen.
The relationship aspect
is the relationship. So we want to do that more inside of our client work, but also the content that we're putting out here. We enjoy that. We want to do it more in 2020. That's something that we value. So we just want to put that out there and let you guys know that we're looking to talk with you guys more. So, all right. We kind of hinted at this also on our little pre-show that I have an idea that I just want to get out there. I don't know the exact wording to use, but the first thing that came to mind when I was thinking about this is kind of risk versus reward. So what I was doing as this year comes to a close was thinking about back to what got me started or what gave me the ability to make my first listing and try to identify with that, but also use that same courage now as I'm moving into some new things and I'm having that same like
feeling of regret or drought.
My gears are kind of like grinding. It's like, should I be doing this thing? Like I can't really call myself a Shopify expert or any of these things. Like, should I be teaching on this? All these like thoughts that are just, I feel holding me back. And there's no real reason otherwise, besides it's just something like mental going on. And so I went back to this visual that I used of this like risk versus reward when I first started or first had the idea to even post a listing on Merch by Amazon for a print on demand. And it was basically this idea of like, yes, there are two kind of roads I can go down. I can make a listing and it can be horrible and it can blow up in my face and people can find out that I was the one who made it and it would reflect badly on me and ruin my graphic design career. Or I could put a listing up and, either it could die out, no one would ever see it, or it could actually sell and it would allow me to have the type of business that I want to have, which is a no inventory business, as we still have the empty warehouse behind us. And so that was kind of the same idea that I ran forward with the last couple of weeks as I've been, trying to figure out what kind of content I can put out there about Shopify, as I'm still very new to it and learning a lot of things. But it's just this idea of like, I could say nothing, but then there's a chance that, what I'm learning and the pace that I'm learning it at wouldn't help anybody else. And I think that's kind of, again, the idea of the WingMan brand is that we want to provide help for you guys exactly where you're at. And so I just want to be a little bit more open with what I'm learning and not so like, this is exactly how you do this thing, or here's a rule set that you have to follow to make these Shopify stores, but it's more like, let's figure this thing out together. Here's some information. And so I wanted you bring that idea up and see if you guys could maybe apply it to where you're at in your business as well, of just thinking of, what's the worst thing that could possibly happen, but also at the same time, like what's the upside of what could possibly happen. So yes, you could put up a listing and it could get rejected by Amazon. But at the same time, if that listing that you put up doesn't get rejected, it could get bought a whole bunch and you could be selling 20 shirts a day, as we've seen some shirts of ours blow up in here Q4. And it just allows us to keep having this business and keep doing what we enjoy doing. And so you just kind of got to think about like the risk versus reward. I know it's not a perfect analogy, but hopefully you guys see what I'm saying with that, of just like, you know, sometimes it's worth putting up things even though it might scare you, or you might think that it might just blow up in your face and you won't learn anything. But at the same time, it could provide you a way to have the work life that you want and the kind of the business that you always dreamed of. As I feel very blessed in this holiday season to see where we're at, see that me and Steven, even though we don't live in the same exact house and working in the same office all the time, we still have been able to continue on this business and grow something that we both very much enjoy. So just a little encouragement. I think I'll maybe do a video on this later in the week to maybe iron out some of these thoughts.
Clarify.
Yeah, but
it almost sounds like from a 10,000 foot view, like don't let fear stop you.
Mhm.
And then I think you're adding like an additional layer to that, because I think maybe that's a little overused. Like, don't let fear stop you. Don't let fear
I
stop
think
you.
I don't want to sound cheesy when I'm saying it either.
But like that layer of like, why are you letting fear stop you? What is the risk versus the reward of doing this thing? I think for us, well, I'll speak for myself. For me, I'm always like a head first person. I'm very willing to take the risk because I think whatever I'm going to be doing is going to lead to a reward that I'm willing to do anything for. Like when you started doing POD, you were working at a business and then coming home and putting almost 8 hours additionally into your own business. The risk of putting that much time with little reward in the beginning might have been hard to justify, but as you did it more and you saw more progression, you're like, okay, this is the dream of what I want. I want to be able to work with no inventory and travel. This seems like there's a light at the end of the table, end of the tunnel for this idea. So that kept you motivated. For me, it's I've done this so many times that it's like I'm willing to take this risk because eventually I know I'll figure it out and be able to get to where I want to. So I don't know if it's the fear necessarily, but that risk versus reward analogy I think is good for just that extra layer. If fear isn't something that stops you, it's just, okay, what is the risk of doing this and what is the reward of doing this? Are you willing to put the time, energy, and effort to get that reward that you're looking for? I think POD is an amazing track to go on to get to if you want no inventory, if you want to be able to have a business that can pay you while you travel. If you are like Nathaniel and you're like, hey, I want to live here for 6 months and then I just want to leave as soon as the winter comes and I move somewhere else, like that's an amazing opportunity that was not available when I was younger. There was no POD. So just seeing the opportunities that are out there, something that is becoming more apparent to us is growing a brand away from Amazon. That's something that we are seeing a lot of opportunities in. I don't know if that's the best thing for everybody, but that's a journey that we're about to take. As Nathaniel works on Shopify, I think that's a journey that we want you guys to come along for and just show you this is what we're doing. This is how we failed. This is what's working. This is what's not working, instead of kind of how we've been teaching. Like, this is what's gotten us here. This is how it's gotten us to the dance. These are validation. This is the process. It's just a little bit harder because the stuff is changing all the time. So it's hard to be like, this works 100% of the time, knowing that as soon as Amazon changed something.
No, something you just said there of just like, you know, some of these opportunities aren't for us, or they're not going to use our skill set, or we're not going to get excited about them. And I think that's why we want to talk with our community more and connect with you guys more, because we are seeing opportunities like, yeah, we could possibly create a service for that or go down that road or chase those trends or whatever. But it's like, that's not where our business is heading. And now that we have a clearer vision of where we're going, I think it would be exciting to just be like, here's opportunities that you guys can take advantage of. And, you know, I think the only real way that happens is if we have a relationship with you guys, so we know what your business is, what your goals are,
what your skills are, what your gifts are,
what you enjoy doing, what excites you. That's like the biggest thing I think I've pulled out of 2019 is like, we kind of knew this about each other, is like, if we're not excited about something, it's just not going to get done. But I don't think we understood like to the degree of how important that was, where it's like, now I'm like just eating up everything Shopify because it's exciting to me, because I see how it actually applies to clients that I already have and that clients that I want to have. And so it's very easy for me to work on this business and find enjoyment in it, and you know, be 10 steps ahead of where you know, I actually am mentally, where I'm like, oh, and then this leads into this.
It's almost like a dare to dream. When you are at work, you dared to dream, like, what happens if I didn't have to come into this job? What if I could just get a car and travel in my car? Is that something that I want to do? Like, and self-reflecting maybe, and just figuring out like, what is it that you want to do? What are your dreams? I know you didn't get there alone. I mean, we could do multiple calls about the people that we know and the relationship that we're built to get us to where we're at. And maybe we should bring that more into, I think with Ryan interviewing us, we should be bringing on
show the
Ryan
power of our past relationships to encourage you guys to build relationships in the future.
And I think that is, we want you guys to dream. What are your dreams? What are your skills? What are your passions? What is it that you want to do? How can we help you? I think that's really what has been set on our hearts for 2020 is like, how do we help more people reach their goals? How do we help you find your success? More than, do you want a successful merch business? Do you want a successful shirt to sell? Like, there's more to this business than just that. We truly believe it's the relationship. A lot of things that I never would have dreamed about happened this year, about us traveling, going and speaking in front of people. That was never something that's in the cards, but just like helping people. How do I help people more? That seems like a good opportunity for us to try this thing out and see if we can help people more. We've gotten a lot of relationships from doing that. A lot of the business that we're about to be moving into is from people that we met when we went to those conferences and spoke. One of the ladies that we went and we couldn't really figure out a way to work with her, Linda, I'll say her name, has now agreed to work with us for this new idea that we have going forward. She is a project manager, project lead, I guess. We've been doing a lot of things and have a hard time organizing all this stuff. And we were like, I think we need a person, but we don't know what it's called. Let's reach out to Linda, because I remember Linda
that's why
talking to us about
I wasn't even sure if that was her actual like title. So I was like, I think so. Yeah.
But it seems like she's going to be a huge help in our business. And just being able to build those relationships is another thing that we want out of 2020. That's why we want to do more local meetup groups. We want to help you guys more and find ways that we can work together. I think that's really what I want this call to be, is just like an open conversation for us, for the community. How are we all collectively moving forward? Opportunities are consistently being shown to us. And like Nathaniel said, if we're not into them, maybe it's something that we can bring to the community and say, hey, here's an opportunity. This is not a good fit for us because of, but if you are XYZ, a copywriter, there's a lot of things that people have been like, hey, can you do copy on this? Can you do commercial on this? Can you do all? That's not a really good fit for us, but it's something that we could have brought to our community and said, here's an opportunity that we have available to us. Who would be interested in this? How can we work together on this idea or this project? That's very exciting. I didn't think about it like that, though. Like, when opportunities come to us, we could maybe have, instead
of just saying no, we say it's not for us.
Yeah, it took us a long time to say no on stuff, and now that we're saying no, I'm like, yeah, I love to say no. What's that opportunity? Nah, I'm good. I got it.
All right. Do you want to talk about anything else? I know we're about 30 minutes and it's after the holidays, so maybe keeping this one a little bit shorter than our normal call would be good.
Yeah, just I challenge you guys to think about 2020. Find some time, set some time aside, set a place, a date, a time. I only say that so aggressively because it's something that me and Nathaniel are constantly trying to figure out. And it seems like that's like another unlocking piece for us to be able to move the needle forward, or the ball on the field, or however you want to say it, to get things done. And it's exciting. Anytime I find something like that works for me, I want to share it with you guys. So sometime in the next month, take some time, set it aside, a place, and then just think about your business. Where are you at? Where do you want to go? Take some time to dare to dream. Think about your opportunities. Set a goal, set a lofty goal, an ambitious goal, work backwards, and we are here to help you guys. There are lots of opportunities. I know it might seem crazy, especially when I started, when I was like, this doesn't make sense. I'm selling this thing. It seems like a fluke. I'm getting lucky. How long can this last? It's not lucky. You have skills and gifts and abilities. We want to help you use those to reach your goals.
So in order for us to help you reach your goals the best that we can, we do want to do more local meetups and more small groups and consulting and whatever that looks like. So
I think mastermind is a word I'm gonna start throwing around. I guess I don't know if that's the proper word, but it seems like a lot of people are reaching out to me and wanting a mastermind. And I was just trying to figure that out. But it does seem like a small group collectively working together on a goal.
Yeah, so both online, but I want to talk again about this local idea, just because I think that's something that we can do fairly soon, if not within the next couple of weeks, is just have these local meetups. So if you guys are in the St. Pete, Tampa area, or in the Atlanta area, Stone Mountain specifically, we want to know. So if you guys can reach out to us, let us know where you're at.
They're asking how. I guess that's probably good. On Facebook is probably the best way right now. On the Facebook page.
On the Facebook page or messaging me directly. I know that that doesn't always go through to you because you took it off your phone, which is probably a good idea. But if you could message me, and then we'll, like, what I was going to say is maybe we can create events and you guys can just respond to those events. But I kind of need to know numbers to pick a location. I know Steven's a little bit more flexible with that.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of local places, and I have some friends that have space.
Yeah. So yeah, messaging me, we'll figure out a better way
like
to
quite a bit of people.
Run this. But even if you're not in either of those two locations, there is a map inside of our group. So if you join our group and put a pin on there, we do plan on traveling a bit in 2020, probably not as much as the last 2 years, at least for me. But we had this idea as losing my voice now. I'm talking to Steven too much.
Too much food?
Yeah. And we've had this idea as we go to conferences across the country that we want to let people know like a week or two in advance, or hopefully more than that in advance, but we want to get together with people in those areas. So we're not just going to these conferences, but if there are enough people in that area to do a local meetup, I know maybe Vegas is on the calendar and a few other places. So we'd love to do that as well. So it's still worth pinning yourself on that map. I did meet up with a good amount of people on that map as I was traveling around. So we still want to utilize that and make sure that we're meeting with you guys as much as possible face to face, as that's something that me and Steven very much so enjoy. So that's kind of your call to action for this week. I know it's not a real strong one. We don't have a great place to send you, but we just want to put that out there, see where you guys are at. It seems like there are a good amount of you in our areas and
willing to travel.
Yeah, talk with us. So we are very excited to hear that.
People asking about next conferences. We are unsure. I think we really got burnt out last year, and people are still wanting us to go to conferences. So we're just trying to pick a good balance, because me and Nathaniel are not together now. So it's a little bit more difficult to travel and just meet up. And we both have lofty goals that we also want to accomplish. So just like trying to figure out when in the schedule at a good event to go to is, and then plan out those events. So as we, before Nathaniel leaves, plan out the scheduling a little bit more, we will try to let you guys know. Nathaniel said 2 weeks. As long as we know, we'll try to let you guys know much more in advance where we'll be going, what conferences we're going to, and then what events we want to set up. I really want to do a WingMan event, probably not in 2020, but 2021 here in Florida, and especially in the winter when everybody's cold. And then you come down here and just talk shop. I don't know if it'll be like, oh, we have this many presenters, but it'll be more of just like, let's get together, let's network, let's build relationships, let's work on businesses. Me and Nathaniel really like let's open up our laptops and get things done. I think that's what I've enjoyed most about you just coming back, is just like checking off those boxes where it's like, this stuff is stuff that will get done over a week versus like, we just talk about it for 20 minutes, 30 minutes and get it done. Here's the idea, let's put it into action. Here's the thing, get it done. Even with you with Shopify, and just like, oh, it'd be interesting if you could, and we just sat down and knocked it out. So
yeah, that was great.
I enjoy that.
So lots more of that. We will try to maybe put a landing page together for some stuff like that. That's our new thing that we're working on, is creating landing pages. So
we said that 100 times last year and never did it once.
We'll try and get that done. So yeah, but we want to meet with you guys, whether it be locally or online. So just keep reaching out to us, keep sending us those messages. It's opened up some pretty cool doors the last 2 years, and we expect that it just keeps getting cooler in future as we're more focused and zeroed in on exactly what we want to do. And that can mean that there are opportunities that we aren't necessarily taking advantage of, but that we can let you guys know about, and we can see where that goes. So we appreciate you guys. Anything else that you want to end on? All right. Cool.
No, this was exciting. Again.
I hope that
I have a lot more energy when you're in the room.
I know,
instead of me just trying to yell at you and you're like, oh, but here we go again.
We hope that you guys had a great, what is this called? Cyber weekend?
Cyber Monday,
Friday,
Black Friday.
Cyber,
See, you haven't shopped in a while. You forget all the names.
We hope you guys had a great crazy Q4. Hopefully it was successful for you guys. We're here for you. We want to help in any way that we can, and just continue to be your wingman in 2020. Thanks, guys, for watching this whole video. If you're still here, we appreciate you. If you could leave a like and a comment below just to let us know how you felt about the video. And if you enjoyed this content, if you could subscribe to the channel, that helps us just build this community that we are trying to have with the Wingman University.